If you've spent nearly the last 10 years of your life committing scams, schemes, or fraud in some shape, form, or fashion, don't use the fact that you had an affair on your husband and your family as a reason to become the victim when in fact you are not a victim. Yeah, Rockstars, welcome into the channel. Today is Saturday, March 22nd, 2025. I'm filming this. And if you normally come here to watch reselling, entrepreneurship, or business videos, thank you so much for that. If this isn't your cup of tea, come back tomorrow for the regularly scheduled programming and we'll be back to that. But today we have to talk about what is quite possibly not only the most disgusting, in my opinion, but insane, crazy video situation thing that's happening. And if you're new here or new to the reselling community or new to this story, maybe this video goes viral later, who knows? We in the reselling community for probably nearly 10 years, and I'll give you a brief history breakdown in a second, have been dealing with a person that has schemed, scammed, frauded, or in any other way taken advantage of hundreds, possibly thousands of people at this point, and definitely tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Her name, Nicole the Snake State. And actually, that's not her real name either. Shocker, right? Even from day one, she hasn't used her real name. Almost like it was planned from the beginning of whatever this journey is to not be a real, authentic person. I'm not gonna tell you her real name. I'm sure you can find it on your own. But Nicole State, the Snake, as I like to call her, has been committing these schemes and scams and things for almost nearly 10 years. And I can tell you how I know that because at eBay Open 2017, 8 years ago, I was chosen to participate in some panels and speak with the vice president of eBay at the time on stage. And in addition to me, there were several other people chosen, and Nicole was one of them. And it was right around that time we discovered her scams. We had known about them a little while, probably about a year at that point. So back to 2016, which puts us to 9 years now. And we actually told eBay we would not speak on stage, this is facts, if she was allowed to, and she was removed from eBay Open because they didn't want to lose all of us. It wasn't just me, it was the collection of all of us. They would have rather had us than her. Thank God they made that decision. Fast forward a little while later, and she was suspended permanently from eBay for alleged mail fraud, even though my inside sources at eBay at the time confirmed why she was suspended. She's also been kicked off now recently. Whatnot, she at one point had trouble with Poshmark, 2 accounts, some kind of issues. She had a States Crate mystery box business that scammed and schemed and ripped people off and failed. She had a business called The Merch that failed. A long history. And then fast forward to the banning on Whatnot just last week. About a week and a half ago, she gets permanently banned for, again, shocker, ripping people off, not shipping packages, late shipments, never shipping stuff, scamming on giveaways, empty gift cards, you name it, it was happening. She finally gets banned after months and months and months of people complaining and videos and proof and receipts. They finally did the right thing. It took them way too long, a year too long. With that said, she started coming out with TikTok videos to rebrand herself. And she said in these videos that she was at a mental institution, some sort of mental facility on S-Watch, can't say that word, and that she has diagnosed mental illnesses and that this caused her to lose her business, to go manic, and also caused her to have an affair on her husband. She also has 2 young children that I feel absolutely awful for. Well, Nicole decided to put out a video explaining this situation on TikTok, and I think we need to take a look at it because if you spend the better part of 10 years scheming, scamming, and frauding people in this community, and then you decide the best way to take responsibility for it, which is what she says she's doing, is to play the victim in an affair, well, I got a problem with that. And let me tell you why I have a problem with that, because a lot of people are gonna say, what business is it of mine? You're right, it's not my business. What she does in her personal life is not any of our businesses. She made it our business by putting it out on the internet. When you put it on the internet, it lives forever. She should have handled that in private with her husband, with her children, with her family, with the man that she allegedly, well not allegedly, which she admits to having an affair with. That part of it should have been left to the side, but now that she's put it out, it's public, it's on the internet, and it is fair game. Also, with that said, the private part of her S-Watch or mental issues or mental problems is not an excuse to come on the internet and scam people, to defraud them, or to otherwise take advantage of them or take money from them under false pretexts. It does not give you a free pass just because you have some BPD or mental illness or bipolar or whatever it is that you have does not make it okay to be a shitty person. Period. End of story. Done. Done, done, done. But with that said, let's take a look at the video. It also doesn't give her an excuse to be the victim. She is not the victim. She has taken advantage of more people than I can count. And the reason that that is my business is because I have received emails from people telling me they want to do business with me, buy wholesale lots from me, be a part of the community, have me help them, but they are not going to do it because they have been ripped off by Nicole and they are now not going to give anybody money or do business or trust anyone. Even though we didn't rip them off, they have a bad taste in their mouth. When you bring that into the community, now I have a problem with it. Let's take a look at the video and you guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below.
Today's day 9. Today we're going to talk about the affair. Hi, my name's Nicole, and in 30 days I lost my multi-million-dollar business, had an affair that almost cost me my marriage, and ended up in a mental hospital on suicide watch.
First of all, I'm going to stop it right away. She never had a multi-million-dollar business. She might have done a bunch of sales, but if you don't have the inventory, you never ship it, and you scam people, you didn't have a business, and you certainly didn't have a multi-million-dollar business. But go on, tell me more.
This video is going to be hard. First and foremost, I take full responsibility for everything that has happened. I am the problem. I made my choices. I do have a diagnosis that does make things a little bit harder on me, but I still made the choices. And I am not using it as a cop-out. I'm not using it for anything except education that, hey, with this diagnosis, these are some of the things that can happen if you're not actively getting...
So in other words, using it as an excuse. Go on.
...being treated. And for me, one of the things that I did was have an affair for the first time. We're going to call the guy Sebastian.
You can go to her comments or anywhere and find out his real name. I don't know anything about him, so I'm not going to comment about him, just what she tells us in this video. Also, according to my sources and people close to Nicole, this is not the first time, by the way, that she's had an affair.
Sebastian, like the crab, and I met on Whatnot, the app where I was one of the largest streamers back in December. And we quickly became fast friends. He was another streamer on the app, and I gave him my phone number, and we started talking daily. And these were not short calls. These were 5 or 6 hour long calls, consistent all day, conversations, FaceTimes, best of friends. And he made me feel safe. He would come in my streams. People weren't trolling me when he was around. He quickly became everything to me, everything, okay? Morning to night, I was talking to this man. My husband of 13 years is gone most weekends for my daughter plays travel hockey out of the country. And it was very easy to just be on the phone with this man until 5 or 6 in the morning every night. He was the man who was talking to me after a stream, making sure that I got home safe, ordering me food, making sure I ate.
I know she just told us where her husband was, but as her husband, and I'm not blaming him at all, like, why wasn't he calling her? Why wasn't he ordering her food? What? I got a lot of questions, but continue.
He officially named me his side chick. Okay, we had 2 rules. Don't mess up our marriage.
Can any woman who's watching this tell me that if they got called a side chick would be okay with that at any point? Yeah, I don't think so.
He's also married and don't have any other people, which he never followed rule 2. Okay, never followed rule 2. Hey, Adamus, Caffeinated Sally is also Noah on Whatnot, just so you know, so they can snap together. They can Snapchat together. Just so you know, that relationship. I've seen so many. There was a girl whose boyfriend left her because of the conversations he would have with her. This man had me fooled. This man had me fooled 100%, and I was all
Oh, here we go. Let's insert the victim card. Let's go. Let's play victim.
about it, okay? He was my favorite person. I put him up on the highest pedestal. We were a team. We were doing all these things together. I refused to see a single red flag, even when he did things like give me ultimatums. If this person is in your shows, then I'm not going to be there. If you do not block this person and stop talking to them, you can block me. If literally ultimatum after ultimatum, but I was already so deep. I was so deep in it with him. He also had videos of me that I didn't want out there. He had so much power over me. He would tell me things like, I love when I have complete power over your mind and body. He knew I would do anything for him. I trusted him with everything. And when my friends would say, Nicole, this guy's using you. This guy's using you. He was no one before he met you. And now look at his rooms. He is using you. And I would,
using you, like she always ends sentences with, like what, her voice. This is, just so you guys know, one of the hardest videos I've ever had to make because I have to sit and listen to this for the better part of however long this video is. And I'm telling you that other people knew, clearly. She just admits her friend knew. And these are the same people that are in her comment sections in her chat supporting her and going, love Nicole, block the spammers, block the trolls, i.e. the people calling out her BS. Those are the same people that knew what she was up to, but were protecting her.
cut them off. I would say, no, he only cares about me. He's not using me. He's my best friend. What are you talking about? You know? And I could not see past the attention that he was giving me that I had not had in my life for so long. I could not see my loving husband love me anymore because all I could see is this man who I thought was my entire world, okay? I thought this man was the other half of me, okay?
So the reason that she thought this man was the other half of her and was the only thing that mattered is because she was spending all of her time talking to him and streaming with him and whatever with him, and not with her actual other half, her husband, who is, you know, I understand out of the country, I guess, with their daughter. Again, I feel terrible for their kids. I don't bring kids in anything. I don't even mention kids, but she mentioned it here, and I'm just using it for the subject matter here, is that her husband takes her child out of the country to play hockey, I think she said, and they're gone all the time. And I get it. There's a lot of parents that are traveling or doing sports or doing things with their kids, and they're away from each other. But there's millions of couples and parents, and my neighbors are great examples. Every one of my neighbors has like 2, 3, 4 kids, right? There's a ton of kids in this neighborhood. And they all do sports and stuff, but none of them are doing anything of what she is doing. Like it's not happening, right? Not that I know of. And so that's not an excuse just because your husband is busy doing things. And why aren't you guys switching off? Why aren't you, again, I'm not going to question somebody's parenting. I have no right to, but why isn't she taking her daughter to go play hockey and things and be a part of that life? Is it because she was too busy working and streaming? Well, clearly she had time to do 5 and 6 hour phone calls with somebody. So maybe she was working a lot, but she clearly had some form of time to be able to be active in her children's life. Also, I feel sorry for them because all of this lives on the internet. No matter how much Nicole scrubs the internet, she does this all the time. She's cleared her YouTube channel. Ask yourself, why did somebody with as many subscribers as she had on YouTube and views scrub her YouTube channel basically for many, many times? This stuff lives on the internet, and her kids are gonna see this. They're getting older now. They're not little babies or little toddlers. They're growing up. Again, it's been 10 years and she had kids then, so I imagine her daughter is a teenager and her son is probably not far behind. They're gonna start understanding what's going on with mom. They're gonna see this stuff. People are gonna find out. Other kids are brutal. Not okay, man, not okay. Leave the kids out of it, but at the same time, I feel terrible for them.
We were inseparable. And I am such an idiot. He would also say things like, we're not having an affair because we've never met in person. We're not doing anything wrong, Nicole. We've never even, met in person. This text message between us.
Okay, so she puts up a screenshot of a text thread that they had. It's very NSFW, not safe for Not safe for anywhere. Forget about not safe for work. She says they didn't meet in person. I have a source who says that's possibly not true. I'm not going to comment on that. That's alleged. I have no idea if they met in person or not. But I do have a source that says that may not be true, that it's possible they did. I don't know where the other gentleman lives. Again, I know nothing about him. I'm not going to comment about him. So I don't know if he lives where she lives in the Pacific Northwest or not. But it's always possible. I wouldn't put anything past her. So she puts up a text thread, which I've got it paused probably while I'm recording this on the screen. Feel free to read it yourself. I can't read it, but it's disturbing. So go ahead and pause this video longer if you need to read that. But this is embarrassing. Like, how disgusting. If you had an affair and it's something for you to handle personally, do your thing. But now you're exposing it to the world, to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, and showing what you were texting to some man that's not your husband in a sexual way. Are you kidding me? Who does this? How are you not embarrassed for yourself, right?
Was the night before I went into the hospital. I was on a video call doing things that I shouldn't be doing for him while he was sending me these. Okay? Yes, it was an affair. Yes, it was wrong. Yes, I have immense guilt. And yes, I don't want anyone else to ever do this again, because listen, it is not worth it. Don't do it. I became so obsessed and enthralled with this man. All I wanted to do was impress him. Okay, the night that I had a $100,000 stream, the night before, we had gotten in a big fight, me and Sebastian. And I had stayed up all night long thinking about how I couldn't talk to him anymore, how I needed to end it, how I needed to be done with him, how I needed to get my power back, how I was a strong person. I went live the next morning with getting maybe an hour's of sleep. I was awake until 6 a.m. I slept for like an hour or two. I got up, I did a show that morning, and it spiraled. And I remember going on that show and being like, no more distractions, no more, like, this is it, this is what I'm doing. And then I wasn't even gonna have a big show. He shows up and he starts telling me what a good job I'm doing, and oh my God, baby, you're so great. And I was immediately blinded again. And the stress from my job and all the outside world, I could escape it. I could escape it when I was with him. It was like a fantasy. But in my head, it was reality. But now I know it was just a fantasy. Like, there was, he used me. He didn't care about me. Like, I was literally just someone to get him off and to pump up his streams, to make sure his bids were at the right prices. He would text me and be like, can you bid this on this? And he would...
If you don't understand what she just said, she just admitted that he would text her when his items weren't getting enough bids to be at a price high enough, and he would have her bid on the item to push the price up to force other people to bid on that item as well, which is called shill bidding. It's also fraud. When you cause the price of an item to inflate artificially by colluding with somebody else, not only is shill bidding against the terms of service of whatnot and eBay and every other platform, it's against the law. That is literally a crime. And depending on the prices of the item and totals that you've done it on, it could be deemed a felony. It can also be called what's referred to as scheme to defraud. It means that you pre-planned to do these sort of things with somebody else, and that you fraudulently caused other people to spend money they wouldn't have spent. It's illegal. Holy crap, she just admitted to a crime on camera. And so when you guys come to me in the comments, some of you, and you go, you're obsessed, you guys won't leave Nicole alone, she just told you she committed a crime, almost a felony in some places, in some instances. What more do you need, right? It's incredible.
Did high on things and make sure that, you know, it wasn't good. I regret so much, and frankly, I'm glad. I felt relief when I got banned from the app, because I was so obsessed with him that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. You know, we oversold, we canceled orders, we weren't getting stuff shipped out on time. All I could think about 24/7 was this man. And that might sound crazy, because it actually is. okay?
Holy crap, the first honest thing she said in the entire video. Yes, it's crazy. And so, in my opinion, are you, young lady.
It actually is. He was my favorite person. He would tell me all the time, look at how toxic we both are. We're both toxic. We're both toxic. Isn't this cute? We're both toxic. You're my favorite person. Like, he was just as toxic as I was. And you put us together and it was this explosion of toxicity that I am so embarrassed and ashamed of. But I also know that it needs to be said. It needs to be put out there.
She's not embarrassed. She doesn't care. She came right back to TikTok a day later and started making videos to get more viewers and immediately went to Poshmark Live to sell her stuff at the same exact way that she was doing before. And mark my words, she will do what she's done every other time with or without this man. She's using him as her excuse and her scapegoat and her cop-out. And I'm not saying that it wasn't part of it or made it worse, but she's going to do what she's always done before. Mark my words. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow or next week or even next month, but she's going to do what she's always done. Screenshot this video, record that little section, and tell me I'm wrong in a couple of months.
I hope that no other girl falls for this, and I really hope that if you are thinking about stepping outside your marriage, don't do it. It is the worst choice that I could have ever made.
God, her voice, don't do it.
It is something that I will regret. I will have to work through in therapy with my husband, who is standing by my side. Hopefully, we have a lot of work to do. We'll see what happens. You guys will come on this journey with me. But I have to take responsibility for this part of it. I have to take responsibility for the part where I let down my Whatnot community, where I let an affair completely take over my life, where he had me call his wife on FaceTime with him, a 3-way FaceTime, and tell her that nothing was going on between us. Then he hung up with her and we were back to doing all the things we were doing. That is disgusting. I am disgusting. I am fully aware of that. And I need to take accountability.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Couldn't have said it better.
For all of that. But I thought this man was my soulmate. I thought he was the best thing that had ever happened. And then I got banned on Whatnot. And guess who dropped me? So for everyone who said he was using me, congratulations, you were correct. He was using me. And he uses everyone on that app. And
on that app.
It is what it is. I have to move on. I have to move forward. I deserve to get banned. I didn't put my customers first. I didn't put my orders first. I put something else first. And I think if I would have stayed on the app, I would have lost everything.
So, does anybody else get a vibe that it's not responsibility she's taking? She's just pissed off that she got used by a guy to get views and streams or bids to his stream, and that when she finally got kicked off the app, she was no good anymore. And this is sort of like her revenge tour. Anybody else think that way? Am I just thinking out loud in the comment section? Maybe I should leave my own comment. I don't know. Wow. So to wrap things up, everything we said about Nicole was right. We were all right. Imagine that. She was canceling orders, not selling stuff she didn't have, not shipping orders, not taking care of her customers, shill bidding, deleting comments and reviews. Everything we said she was doing, just like she's always done for the last almost 10 years. And just like she'll continue to do, mark my words, going forward. She's never going to change, ever. We've said it 100 times. We'll say it 100 more probably. Don't bring that shit to our community. Don't rip off our customers. Just because they're buying something from you doesn't mean they don't want to buy something from somebody else in the future, or do business with somebody else, or attend an event with somebody else, or hang out with somebody else at a meetup, or whatever the case might be. If you don't want to do business with me, I don't want you to do business with me because you don't want to do business with me. I don't want you to not want to be involved with myself or Rally Roots or the community or Callie or Chaz or anybody else because of a bad taste that somebody else left in your mouth. That's all I'm trying to say. So I'm just going to leave the video there. I don't think there's much else that needs to be said. I'm not going to do any more content on it. There's no need to do any more content. If this doesn't, in the future, 5 years from now, somebody says she's a good person, all I'm going to do is pull this video up and say, here you go. With that, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. If this isn't your cup of tea, come back and watch my future regularly scheduled reselling community videos again tomorrow on Sunday and Monday and the rest of March. So I will see everyone next time.